Given the increased number of cybersecurity threats threatening our critical infrastructure, this hearing is incredibly important. And the irony of this hearing is not lost on me, that while we scramble to catch up in the increasingly intense cybersecurity arms race, some of my colleagues ignore that one of our nation's biggest cybersecurity vulnerabilities is the current administration and its drastic cuts to the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, a national security team that prefers to coordinate via unsecure messaging apps instead of following standard security protocols. And it seems that the biggest step that we could take towards safeguarding our critical telecoms infrastructure is to hold the administration accountable for reckless behavior and unfunded, unwarranted funding cuts that have made us more vulnerable. I want to start with Ms. Galante. Can you expand on what you mentioned in your testimony regarding the availability of AI to improve data processing capabilities to allow even unsophisticated adversaries to more effectively extract key insights from stolen data, and how worried we should be that AI will also greatly expand the availability, our ability of adversaries to get around our cyber defenses and commit even more devastating cyber attacks?
Thank you, Congresswoman McClellan. AI is a double-edged sword. You can use it for security purposes, you can use it for data exploitation, and a whole myriad of other things. Specifically when it relates to how our adversaries are able to advance their skill set quickly when it comes to the exfiltration and the capture of large data sets, this is an area where we really need to focus on what the counterintelligence gain can be to them and what the vulnerability is to us. When you're able to sweep up huge amounts of data, whether it's from a telecoms network or another source, and then aggregate those data points, you get valuable patterns of life, you get valuable data sets and insights that can be used against us. It's critical that we understand how our adversaries use this.
Thank you for that. And also for you, Ms. Galante, given the growing cooperation that we have witnessed between Russia, Iran, China, and the DPRK in kinetic warfare against Ukraine, to the extent possible in an unclassified setting, can you elaborate on how concerned we should be about the possibility of greater cooperation among our adversaries to engage in cyber attacks against us? And to what extent do you believe that type of cooperation has already begun?
I am particularly concerned about the sharing, especially of vulnerabilities in widely used software in the US that our adversaries could share between each other. China, for example, has national laws that require that vulnerabilities found by Chinese researchers or Chinese citizens are first given to the government. That's really important. That, in a way, gives them, the Chinese government, an advantage on the 0 days, the unexploited vulnerabilities that are typically at the core of many of the products or a potential vulnerability in many of our products and critical infrastructure across the US. If those are shared broadly, this becomes an avenue for a scaled attack against the US.
And how should the United States be preparing itself for both the potential of AI-enhanced cyber attacks on critical infrastructure and the possibility of more coordinated cyber attacks amongst multiple hostile foreign adversaries?
We have to continue to invest in the ecosystem of security industry researchers and intelligence operatives with our U.S. intelligence and law enforcement national security agencies who together put together the picture of what our adversaries are doing next and the next edge of attacks that are going to be hitting us. It's that combination that's going to keep us ahead of the threat.
Thank you, and I yield back.